is now in session. Lydia the lawyer presiding.
Order in this courtroom set. Welcome everyone to the Everything Lydia show. And please be seated, of course. We're going to do a call of the calendar. The first thing, or the first matter on the calendar, is Ask Lydia the Lawyer. And we will be talking about the legal use of force in New York and what everyone should know about defending themselves, what they can do, what they can't do. And we're actually going to speak a little bit about Florida and the famous Trayvon Martin case. And the second matter on the calendar is called Legally Kind, which is a new segment. And my co-host today, which I'm going to introduce in a second, is going to be discussing the National Organization for Women's Safety Awareness. And finally, back by popular demand, we're going to be sharing some perfectly timed photos with our I've Been Framed segment, which I have my frame, but we're going to leave it down there for now. So let's first make the introduction. Co-hosting with me today is my very dear, dear, dear friend, Fran Petito. Fran Petito is one tremendous woman. I mean, she is an incredible person, professional. She has over 35 years experience in the media and publishing industries. Her career includes editor-in-chief and president of New York and Chicago Nightlife magazines, editor-in-chief of Dash magazine, those of you on Long Island know that, and in New York, publishing director and fashion and beauty editor of Radio City Entertainment Headliner magazine. Wish I knew you then. You get good tickets for the shows. And additionally, Fran was the director of mail services and media buyer at Austin and Williams Inc. right here on Long Island also. I can go through a list of all of the incredible other organizations you were involved with, including you were the district director of the the National Federation of Business and Professional Women. The list is so long. You are in the Hall of Fame, the National Women's Hall of Fame, top 20, this, that, all these good things. But more importantly, you are now the president of the National Organization for Women's Safety Awareness. That's right. And you are also the executive vice president of Yes, We Care. Both organizations are charities, both are 501c3s, and we're going to talk about them in a little bit. So, and currently you are also a marketing and business consultant in your retired life.
In my retired
Because I brought you out of retirement. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is the legal use of force in New York.
Great topic.
This is the thing. All right. There was just the other day, I don't know if you remember hearing about it, but in Huntington Station, there was an incident where there was a man who defended himself. Okay, his house and his family were being burglarized. So there was a guy at his sliding back door, and there's a video out there. And the guy had a gun, and fast forward, because we don't have that much time with this, but he actually shot through the glass door, and he was shooting at them. He could have killed any one of them. So the guy, and his two brothers went out after the guy, and they had a shotgun, and they shot the guy in the back, and he ended up dying. They killed him. So there's this big controversy now on he was charged with manslaughter. Right. So I do want to say that in New York, okay, you can only use deadly force, all right, because I teach women's safety awareness and I'm a black belt in karate, but you can only use deadly force, you ready? If you reasonably believe that the aggressor is using or about to be using deadly force, i.e. a gun, a knife, or could be an individual who's extremely large and maybe someone who's petite. I mean, that's an issue of fact. And this is the part, you are unable to retreat with complete safety. So you've heard of the Trayvon Martin case, right? Mm-hmm. In Florida. And in New York, we do not have that stand your ground statute the way they do in Florida. So in Florida, you do not have to retreat. So let's go back to the verdict of the Trayvon Martin case. Remember, he was found not guilty, but that's because the jury found, and I mean, I have the statute here, I'm not going to read through it here, but basically if a person is attacked in any place where he or she has the right to be, which in that case he did, clearly, he has no duty to retreat and has the right to stand his or her ground, which we don't have that here, and they can meet force with force, including deadly force, if he or she reasonably believes it is necessary to do so to prevent death or great bodily harm to himself or another person. So if you look at those, that definition, I wrote a whole article, I blogged about it, and I basically said, look, is it unjust? You know, there were a lot of issues about discrimination, about race issues, but you know, people don't really, and I'm not a criminal lawyer, but you have to look at the statute, and you have to say, have you fit within that? Are you able to or allowed to use self-defense? So again, going back to New York, I just want to say that basically, again, you can use deadly physical force if you reasonably believe that they are about to do the same thing, okay? But you have to retreat. So let's talk just for a second about, you and I are squaring off because you hate me. And I'm able to run away, okay? I have to do that. I cannot confront you and stand my ground and say, oh yeah, you think you're so tough? So that's not something we can do in New York, but in Florida you can. So the verdict would probably would have been different if that case, Trayvon Martin, with George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman may very well have been found guilty. So yeah. In addition, I just want to say this, that here it says, if you reasonably believe that the perpetrator is committing or attempting to commit certain violent crimes, i.e. kidnapping, forcible rape, forcible criminal sexual act, robbery, or burglary, again, you do not have to retreat, and in your dwelling too. So if you're in your dwelling, you don't have to retreat. So if you have that gun,
yeah, you can use it.
Make sure you're in your house. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to give you the quiz. So just to recap, so people understand, if you are confronted by someone and they pull out a gun or a knife and they're looking to potentially victimize you and harm you, you can self-defense, you can fight back, all right? But if you can safely retreat and run away, that's what you have to do in New York. All right? Generally. So that's my general analysis. So there we go. Ask Lidia the lawyer. All right, next thing. This is the part I really, really want to talk about here. All right. Legally Kind. That's our new segment. And what I'm hoping to do is focus on a number of charities, particularly here on Long Island. And I'm very proud to say that the one charity that we're highlighting and featuring today is the National Organization for Women's Safety Awareness. And Fran, why don't you, since the helm was handed over, I'm the founder of the organization, but you are the president, and you are very graciously and beautifully at the helm right now, taking care of everything and promoting and whatnot. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the organization?
Well, the National Organization for Women's Safety was founded in 2007 by yourself. We launched it at Hofstra University in 2010 with a very dramatic interpretation of victims' stories that we were able to put into a script with women that had been abused, people that had never told their story before. Complete female orchestras, bands, performers.
Well, I have to tell you something, and you know me, I'm just going to interrupt because that's just kind of what I do. But what an extraordinary compilation of, not only did we have dramatic interpretations of stories from women who were victims, these were their actual stories, and we had actors who performed these, and there wasn't a dry eye in the entire university theater after this was done. We put together, Shirley Rittenauer put together an all-female band. It was called Ms. Demeanor, right? Then we had an a cappella group, and they all performed songs that were somehow related to either abuse of some kind, survival, and it had something to do with our issue here. And then we even had videos of we had Ed Mangano that did his video supporting us. We had Robert Davi. We had, oh my goodness, so many.
Sister, by the way.
Yes, that's right.
Been,
that was
a victim.
I was videotaping him, and I remember I was in Little Italy, and all of a sudden he started sharing his story about his sister, how his sister was actually murdered.
I believe that was one of the first times he actually spoke freely about it.
And there was someone also in the audience. Tell us what happened. That was
Walmart was a sponsor, and one of their key employees from one of the local regions had just happened to come support us, was in the audience, and was hearing her own sister's story. It was quite moving.
Oh boy. Well, we have that on DVD, which we're still working on it, believe it or not, even a few years down. But technology is changing, so the little glitches, we're fixing those. So what are some other projects? Oh, how about this one?
Well, we have the Covers for a Cause. This is a very unique program that we are putting together. As you can see, we have a lot of sponsors right now. And these will be little socks that go on the books for
the book socks. They're nylon ones.
Exactly.
They stretch over.
This will be distributed freely because of our gracious sponsors, and it'll go into the schools, both junior high, elementary, and high school levels. So
right, so
it's an important message. And these particular caricatures and cartoons were drawn by a team from a founding board member's daughter. So it's all very, very close and very personal.
Well, what we're hoping to do is there's messages here. For example, listen to your gut, walk with confidence, that we have a captive audience with students who have these book covers on their books in school. And we're hoping that somehow, it's through osmosis or otherwise, that they maybe will learn something from this. And again, these cartoons are very thought-provoking. There's not a lot of words, but you know, look at this one. I just think this is so great. You have this boy and this girl sitting on a couch. He gets a little closer to her, and they get closer, and she stands up, and basically she's behind him and says, no means no.
That's right.
And I mean, it's a very powerful, powerful message where, you know, we're talking about violence, sexual assault, and whatever, trying to prevent it from with women and teens. So we are looking for sponsors and advertisers and people who want to help us raise money so we can get these book covers out and get it going. Okay,
That's an exciting program.
Joyce.
That will fall probably about the same timing as our stylish safety student program that you perform, these safety seminars for the students, and it's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
Ties together some of the other unique items we have. We don't have a whistle right here.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think everyone knows the whistle. And if I think the bailiff is here, and she may want to go get one. So why don't you run across? Go, crawl, go ahead. But we have the,
While she's doing
the whistle.
that,
Yes.
we also have, and these are great for the younger students.
Yes.
The, the Nauza slap bracelets. And that's just a simple reminder. It's an IB Safe campaign. It's got our website on the other side, comes in black and white. They're very cost effective to be a small reminder in a stylish safety tool that the children can use. And we give them a card that reminds them of the safety tips.
I want everyone to know that the IB, the Heart Sideways Safe, SAFE is an acronym. And as you can see from the card, stay away from strangers. And it's, you know, you need to talk to your kids about that. That just doesn't mean, oh, stay away. You need to go into specifics and details about what that means. Then, of course, we have be aware of your surroundings. That always, always, always. Just know what's going on around you. You know, don't be zoned out on your phone like our kids all are, you know. Follow your gut, which is probably the most important thing. Intuition.
Intuition.
You know, follow your gut. And then finally, evaluate your options. You know, that means a lot of things. It's about knowing in advance what you would do in a certain situation, under certain circumstances.
Well, we're very fortunate to have you as a black belt teaching them. No, seriously, because a lot of the things that you teach them is not just about, you know, how to defend themselves, but also how to decide which one they're going to choose at any particular time.
Choices.
You reinforce it. They need to rehearse, they need to be taught, they need to go through it with their parents, have a plan of action, and you do a terrific seminar,
Thank you.
Which will soon be out on DVD for sale on
And
the
the book.
website, and the book. But this comprehensive program ties everything together. So we have the Crystal Divas beautiful whistle.
The Divas whistle. And
Right.
and let me just mention, by the way, that the reason why it's called a Divas whistle is that there is actually the word divas on the whistle. And divas is also an acronym. So D, distraction, don't be distracted. I, intuition. Again, trust your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Right? V, vulnerability. Don't put yourself in a more vulnerable situation. A, assessment. Assess what's going on around you. And skills, my favorite. Know, you have like this kit, this toolbox of various attacks and weapons and gear, if you will. So this is a reminder, and you could put this on the outside of your pocketbook. Some people wear it. I mean, there's a lot of different things.
The important thing behind the whistle, it's very pretty. It's very practical. For anybody that was ever in gym.
Oh, jeez.
That's to wake
that was
everybody
for you,
up.
Mike.
The important thing about it is that it also combines with the Listen for the Whistle campaign, like we did when we were in school. If you hear the whistle, your first reaction would be, there's a problem, and so that's all part of, you know, the whole program of Listen for the Whistle. So the student program ties it all together. You have the seminar, we have the components that reinforce the message, so it's all very, very good. But we have a lot of really exciting fundraisers this year. Yeah, really exciting.
Okay, tell me about one.
Okay, well, you know, every year historically we do this wonderful fashion show, and we've got the greatest supporters of Eva Fashion and John Pappas Furs. This year we decided we're roasting our
I'm
founder
going to be roasted.
in an official roast in mid-August. Location and details to be announced soon. So
can't wait.
That's going to be very exciting, and she's got a great sense of humor. So anybody out there that wants to join forces, you'll be in touch.
Well, I know that my bailiff is going to be roasting me, and Ms. Corinne Caro,
Absolutely.
right? Founder of Blue Chip Marketing and the
Absolutely.
Daily Blue. I can't wait to get her up there. I can
Absolutely.
only imagine. Wink,
So-
wink.
Yeah, so
Among many others.
that's a lot
gonna
of
be
fun. But
thank
it's
you
also
thank you for setting that up.
Well, we wanted to honor you with the black tie affair, but you know the roast was more to
More
the,
apropos. Yeah,
timing wise.
those of you who watch the show know that would be more apropos.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing that we're doing is in September we'll have a golf outing, our first. Our Vice President Rich Panzini is putting together a wonderful event.
I love golf outings, by the way.
This
love
one is
golf
going
outings.
to be a lot of fun, short and simple.
T-shirts, right?
Yeah, T-shirts.
All kinds of-
the whole thing,
yeah.
the typical games, contests, that sort of thing. So we are looking for support there. And this is the official man's event for the year because we haven't, done that yet.
Yeah.
And that's just some of the event-based things. We
Yeah.
also have a couple of, off-the-chart secret thing, your boxing and all of that.
Well, yeah, since I've been a martial artist and also a boxer for many, many years, I thought it would be fun to have boxing voices for a cause.
Okay.
And everyone get dressed up, and we're gonna, do our boxing.
Okay.
And raise
Okay,
some
maybe
money.
shadow
and raise some
boxing
money
for
because
us.
that's the look. People ask me sometimes, okay, you have a charity,
Right.
and it's a great idea. Be a voice and help, prevent
Right.
women and teens from being victimized and being exposed to violence and being subjected to sexual assaults and whatnot. Well, what are you doing? Well, this is exactly what we're doing.
Right.
These are all of our safety initiatives, and in order to promote them and implement them,
Right.
we need
Absolutely.
money and
Absolutely.
sponsors. And that could be as simple as, getting a company who wants to, let's say 1,000 book covers, and you want to be able to give those to schools. And your logo will be on the book cover. We're very good at promoting and marketing, so.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, another thing that we do is at the end of the year, we'll have our 2015 resource directory.
Don't you have a
which
copy of the
I
one from?
absolutely have a copy.
This was really special.
We did this, which is a beautiful spiral-bound book. And what we did was
Perfect page.
well, perfect page because
I'll hold
as
this up.
timing will allow.
Go ahead.
It includes a resolution from the state of New York acknowledging Teen Personal Safety Awareness Week, November 1st through 7th in the state of New York. Andrew Raya and John Flanagan were instrumental in helping
Yeah.
me get that, Lydia, and that's
Yep.
an important component because along with that we provide different programs that the schools can do, posters, contests, and special appearances by the founder to just make the awareness and make the kids talk about it,
Right.
the teachers address the subject. But this particular resource directory, other than having a lot of the components about nows and safety tips and Strickner Law Firm, we had quite a few advertisers, and we also have in the back a directory guide. So this will be put together as one of our mainstay fundraisers, which will close out the end of the year and be coming out 2015. So that's really exciting.
Let me just interrupt you for a second because I want to just, before we move on from the Teen Personal Safety Awareness Week, I have 3 children, and my youngest is in middle school, and she's a girl, and the schools do not discuss anything about personal safety. They talk about bullying all the time,
Right.
Because unfortunately
Right.
that's the buzzword,
Right.
And everyone talks about bullying because they get on the bandwagon, and that's good. But a quote from my daughter is, "Ma, we get it already," and they have to stop doing the same repetitive
Right.
things.
Right.
And because she's involved with the charity and she goes to seminars
She's our
and she
teen
helps
ambassador.
us. Oh well, you could
She's our
mention
teen
that
ambassador,
too.
yeah.
She's been very, very instrumental in guiding us and telling us, well, what do kids want? And I think Miss Caro's daughter, perhaps, maybe she would be a great individual,
agree.
another young woman who can get involved and a different district, and there's always who knows what's going on.
We believe in joining forces with them because you know what, they know how to reach their peers
Right,
better than we
right.
could, and we need to stay both timely and current and reach that market.
Right.
Because if we can reach that market, both boys and girls and the parents,
Right.
then we can win this fight.
So Teen Personal Safety Awareness Week, November 1st through the
1st through
7th. We're hoping that the schools will adopt programs, poster contests, speakers, whatever, during that week to really
Exactly.
focus on, safety, personal safety. Because it happens every day.
Yep.
And we hear about it every day,
That's
but
right.
it's something that people don't want to talk about,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right.
And, I was a victim. We were all
I
victims.
was a victim.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so after that, yes. So you mentioned the teen ambassador and college ambassador. Maybe we
Yes.
can talk a little bit about that and Teen
Absolutely.
Corner and the website.
Yeah, Rachel Goldsmith is our new teen ambassador. It's so exciting to have her on board. She's very creative. I think she'll be instrumental with video abilities and just everything that she sees and does on the internet is very timely. So she's going to help us put together 30-second videos in a campaign that we can actually, blast out the important message, rotate them, change them more frequently. So that's exciting. I think she's pretty excited about that as well. On the college level, we have our old teen ambassador, our previous teen ambassador.
Former.
Marissa Accordino, who's now up at Ithaca College, and she is putting together a safety component up there. She'll probably be one of the first that will submit to the government's Opportunity Dignity for All Student Act.
Right, because under New York State, it's really interesting though, I did research about that. It's such a new act in New York State that, believe it or not, and I put this note down here, that that the legislation did not include an appropriation to support a grant program as required under the Dignity Act. I'm like, okay, nothing like having this wonderful
Right.
program
Right.
where the state is, seeking, let's see, the public and elementary and secondary schools, they want to provide a safe and supportive environment free from discrimination, intimidation, taunting, harassment, and bullying on school property and on the school bus and
Right.
actually at school functions. So they have this great act, and I know that there's going to be money and there are still
Right.
ways of doing it, but it's
It's very new,
Yeah.
but it's actually the first time that the government has stepped in and made note to the problem.
Okay.
So I think doing that to begin with is a big step,
Okay.
and getting the awareness out there, coming through there. I think it's something that we're going to go for it.
Okay.
Got to go for it.
There we go. So we have all those fun things going on as far as fundraisers and events, because we try to look, if we're going to be doing this, we're right.
well
It's
have
our time.
fun.
Might as well have fun. But our very thought-provoking, important, powerful programs, and they may not seem like a lot. It's a little slap bracelet, but you know what? Every little bit helps, and sometimes this little bracelet may
Right.
have more of an impact, and perhaps the website than
Right.
a big grandiose black tie affair.
Exactly.
That's our
Exactly.
goal.
Sure.
Book covers, the bracelets,
whistles.
the whistles, and all that good stuff. I love this whistle. I'm not going to blow it, Mike. Nope. All right. How are we with time? I think we're doing good here. But in conclusion, I think what we're doing moving forward. And again, thank you for being the president and for taking over for a little while.
Well, it's my honor.
What do you see in the future?
To follow.
Oh,
I had a
I'm
hard
still
act.
here. Still here.
What do I see for the future?
Yeah.
I see this becoming a diminishing problem and us being out of work. That would be my wish
That
and
would
my
be-
goal.
okay, all right.
There's no way to determine. As things get more volatile out in the marketplace and in schools, I mean, the things that happen now to kids never happened when we were in school. So a lot of this is quite shocking.
Well, I have to respectfully disagree. I think a lot of the things had happened in the past. I mean, you think of the boys used to take the girls' pigtails and harass them
No, I
and
mean,
bother them and
walking
stuff.
in with a gun and
Oh
just,
yeah, you're absolutely. That
you
was
know,
never something that happened.
I can't
Yeah,
even
you're right.
fathom how the
You're
teachers
right.
and the parents
Oh, that's a
could
whole
deal with
different.
that on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I think they said that crime has consistently been decreasing in our country, but
Well-
certain age groups and certain categories are
Right.
absolutely
I would
increasing.
argue that
So-
point only because I know the flip side of how that little number gets skewed for the benefit of
Well, also reporting.
murder is down, but attempted murder is up. So
Well, you know what happens also, reporting is also something.
Exactly.
They say that only about, 40% of crimes are actually, reported. And
and
but that's a
when
whole
it comes
different.
to rape or something like that, it's 1 in 5.
1 in 5, and in college it's 1 in 4.
4,
So it's
yeah.
in between 1 in 4 and 1 in 6.
Yeah.
So.
So
All right. Well, we're gonna have you back sometime. We'll talk about this a little bit more. But let's do something a little. I'm gonna
Okay.
transitional, a little lighthearted. Okay. So So a couple of weeks ago, we did a segment that was called I've Been Framed. I love this. And basically the funny images that have been perfectly timed. And what I mean by that is this. All right, so here's the first one. So basically you see these two young ladies, and this lady's, no frame this time. It's too much work. She looks like she has this really hairy arm, doesn't she?
Yes.
But as you can see, this is another person's leg here. So it's actually not her arm, but I just thought this was like such a fun picture. All right, this one's good too. I like this. It's the man boy.
Very strange.
The man boy is basically, oopsie, fell on the floor. It looks like, you could obviously see it's like a dad or a man that's holding the boy, but it's very cute because looks like his head is on his shoulders. This one's good. Then you have the dog person.
Picture.
I love this. The
It almost looks
Doberman.
like it's on a plane.
I don't even know where is her head anyway? I can't figure that one out. It's very cute though. All right. And this reminds me of the bailiff's son. But anyway, look, it's a big giant boy being kissed by his mommy. But again, obviously, it's the
Very
cutest thing.
cute. Very
She's
clever.
giving someone else a kiss. So I had some more, but they were blocked. So we can't do those on the air.
Everybody beware.
Oh, it's all good. I know, right? Well, I just want to say thank you, Fran. You've been
My
a pleasure, just always a wonderful friend, great hardworking woman, and even though I took you out of retirement, you cursed the day.
No, this is the new retirement, the new age retirement.
Yes, there's no such thing as retirement anymore. So, okay, so here we go. The Everything Lydia show is officially adjourned until the next Monday at 2:30 p.m. Only on the Daily Blue. And I want to mention something real quick. Go to www.thedailyblue.com and become a member of the Daily Blue, and then go to our page and become a member of our group. And on April 21st, whoever is a member at that time will have the opportunity to win a $25 Visa gift card. And for nothing, just for signing up. So someone's going to win it, so it might as well be you. So everyone, I'm hoping you all go to thedailyblue.com where you can see these shows, this show and every other show we've done. Of course, past, present, future, right? And all the
Yes,
other wonderful shows
absolutely.
that are on the Daily Blue. And right?
Anybody that would like to support the Everything Lydia show, please reach
Oh.
out to her. We are seeking sponsors
Ooh,
for the
I like
show
that.
I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
you
It's a
need
great
to be
show.
you
It's a
need
lot
to
of
be
fun.
on, and the Daily Blue is wonderful. It's a great place for you to be. So
And just one thing, I forgot to plug the nowza.org. So it's if you
Nowza.org.
want information about the charity that we
Right.
were discussing, it's THENOWSA.org. And that's it. So,
That's it.
of course, you have a legal question, you can always go to AskLydiaTheLawyer.com, because I am a lawyer and I do have to make a living. Okay, so remember, everyone, to check your ordinary at the door and go live that remarkable life. Everything Lydia equals everything lifestyle. So have a great day, everyone. See ya. Mwah. Bye.